If you are a Ten Hag Remainer, I have absolutely no problem with that. What I have a problem with is the Ten Hag Remainers fabricating bullshit to strengthen that opinion. And crediting Ten Hag with the success of the under-18s is exactly that. Bullshit. The people that have been preaching this have zero understanding of the departmental structure within a football club and how that makes the academy a separate entity from the first team. Rant over, I'm going to break this down. If we look at this simplistically, the vast majority of the under-18s are from the Greater Manchester area and have been playing for United since they were single digits. United's website shows them as joining in 2022 or 2023, but that is when they signed scholarship forms. These lads have been playing for United before Ten Hag was even a thought. Now, why is the academy a separate entity from the first team? Quite simply, it's a massive infrastructure, and as such, it has its own director in Nick Cox, who is the boss of the academy. And this is a list of all the permanent staff involved in the operation, ranging from player coaches to psychologists. But in addition to this, the job of the academy is to produce good people, not just footballers. The vast majority of these players won't have a career in football, let alone for United. So part of the job of the academy is to prepare youngsters for the next phase in their life, whether that's as a professional footballer or something else. The first team coaching staff have no input into the development of academy players. There is one slight caveat to this, which I will go into later. So what made me want to address this? On TalkSport, Simon Jordan said,
players. I mean, you've got which one of those players, besides ones that have come out of the youth development that have got nothing to do with him, which one of those players that his coach has got better?
At United?
Yeah.
Well, you could argue he's given Kobe Manu his opportunity and he's come and he's done extremely well.
That come out of the youth development system, that has really very little to do with him.
Then a caller called Alan said this.
And Simon's point about not having anything to do with the youth is absolutely ridiculous. If you watch the under-18 team this season, they're an absolute blueprint of what he did at Ajax. And they've won the treble, the under-18s. He's had everything to do with that youth system.
Love him or hate him, Jordan was factually correct. But let's look at what Alan said regarding the under-18s being a carbon copy of Ajax. No disrespect, but what is the probability of Alan having watched enough of Ajax 3 to 4 years ago to gauge their style of play and then watch enough of the under-18s to make that analogy? If he has, all credit, but in reality, it's conjecture because it's not true. They played their way, our under-18s play their way. But let's say Alan is right. It's Travis Binion and Adam Lawrence that coach the players, prepare the players and motivate the players with assistance from their staff. These are pictures of the under-18s dugout. Ten Hag is not there, has never been in there and never will be there. The tactical aspect of this leads me into that caveat I mentioned earlier, and that is the youth teams are expected to incorporate aspects of the first team's tactics. These are two classic examples. This setup from a goal kick, where the short one is taken to the keeper and then we go from there. From corners, this is the exact same setup as the first team, where we have a combination of zonal and man-to-man marking. But when it comes to patterns of play, the first team and 18s couldn't be any different. The 18s play front foot, attacking football. They are comfortable in possession and are capable of playing against and breaking down low defensive blocks. In comparison to the counter-attacking, long ball first team tactics, and you can say you know fuck all about football, the devil's verdict, you haven't got a clue. But this has been happening all season, and Ten Hag said at the start of the season that he wants to make United a counter-attacking team. From a formation perspective, the under-18s usually go with a 4-2-1-3, but they have also adopted a 3-4-2-1, and the under-21s have also played with a back three. The reality is, Ten Hag's chopping and changing of tactics and formation means there is nothing consistent to filter down to the youth teams, hence the youth team choosing their own path for the benefit of player development. But there is one aspect that Ten Hag has influenced the academy, and that's selling the under-21s best players, making the under-21s bang average at the moment. Zidane Iqbal, Matteo Mejia, and Isaac Hansen Aaron all sold. Iqbal particularly sticks in the throat because he put in promising performances on tour in 2022 and in the warm-up matches in the lead up to the resumption of the Premier League after the World Cup. Add to that, Alvaro Fernandez was probably one of the most promising left-backs in Europe when Ten Hag arrived. He's out on loan. And Palestri, in my opinion, is better than Ahmad and Anthony, and another one who is on loan. Where Ten Hag deserves credit is for giving game time to Mainu and Garnacho. Some cynics might say Mainu and Garnacho are top 1% talent and they speak for themselves. Players who may need a bit more work like Iqbal, you can argue he has turned his back on. But giving game time to Mainu and Garnacho is where the credit starts and stops for Ten Hag. If supporters want to continue to correlate Ten Hag's presence at United with the success of the under-18s, let's go back to the last time United won the FA Youth Cup in 2022. Rangnick was the manager then. Does he get the credit for that? Rangnick gave Garnacho his debut and his second appearance. Do you give him credit for his development? What about the class of 92? Sir Alex said that the 3 years the players spent under Erik Harrison was the most important of their careers. The Devil's verdict is, if you want Ten Hag to stay, it's purely based on what you have seen in the first team. Crediting him with what has happened at under-18s level is disrespectful and discrediting to the staff that are responsible for those results. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.